family, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for coming back. Today's video is a very much requested video. A lot of you guys have been asking me, how do you trim your own hair at home? And today I'm going to be telling you exactly why it is important to trim your ends, and I'm also going to be showing you exactly how I do mine. I'm going to be using my natural hair to show you the importance of trimming your ends to promote healthy, longer, and thicker hair growth. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Mercy. I am an RN BSN, and on this channel I talk about nursing, lifestyle, beauty. I do a little bit of vlogging. I talk about feminine hygiene. I talk about natural hair. I do some home decor, and I just do a little bit of everything. So if you would like to join the family, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit the bell notification so you never miss another video. Like I said, today's video is going to be all about trimming our ends. A lot of you guys have been writing and asking me how to trim your ends. I also realized that I've never actually done a video on that, so it is long overdue. Today, right here, right now, I'm going to be trimming my ends so you guys can see how I do it. Now, this is very scary, okay? I hate taking any kind of scissors to my hair, but you guys know that we're on a natural hair journey, a no heat journey for 6 months, and we have been doing a lot of protective styles. 6 months is a long time to go without trimming your ends. So a lot of you guys have been asking me to show you how to do it so that we can continue our natural hair growth process. I honestly prefer to show you guys to do it so that you can do it yourself versus going to a hair salon, because a lot of us know that a lot of those hair salon people or hairstylists, a lot of them get scissors happy and they cut. Sometimes they cut what they're not supposed to cut. I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there, and it's just not fair. So if we know how to do it, we take the power back. So I'm going to be showing you how to trim your own hair at home where it's safer. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. But first thing first, I want to say thank you to Native Deodorants for sponsoring today's video. Their products are all natural, which means there's no harsh chemicals, no parabens, no aluminum. So the 3 different kinds that I have this time are cucumber and mint, lavender and rose, and coconut and vanilla, with coconut and vanilla being my all-time favorite. They all smell really good, y'all. They just have this light scent, which is a big indicator that there's not a lot of chemicals in here. So if you guys are interested in making the switch to something more natural and effective, Native deodorants are my favorite recommendations. 3 of the Native deodorants normally cost $36, but if you use my link and my code MERCY2, you'll get 33% off and only pay $24. Okay, family, before we get into cutting, I'm going to tell you guys about 7 reasons why it is very, very important to keep your ends trimmed. The number 1 reason you want to trim your ends is to, of course, get rid of split ends. Split ends are those funny looking hairs. It kind of looks like this when you look at it. So this is your hair shaft, and then at the end it opens up like that. That is a split end. That, my friend, is not doing anything for your hair. It's just distracting the growth and the health of your hair. So you want to get rid of that as much as you can. Now, before we go any further, I know a lot of you guys are going to ask how often you're supposed to trim your ends. This is all up to you, and it's all up to your hair. Some of us grow hair faster than others, so everybody's hair is different. You just have to listen to your hair. And I'm going to show you guys exactly when to tell when it's time to cut your ends. But like I said, there's not a set schedule. I'm not going to sit here and say you have to cut your ends every month or every 2 months or every 3 months. Some people can go up to 6 months without ever cutting their ends and their hair looks fine, and some people have to do it monthly. So it just all depends on who you are and what your hair tells you. But I'm gonna give you guys some tips on how to tell when it's time to cut your ends. As for me, right now it's time to cut my ends, and we're gonna go through that. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to number 2. The second reason it is important to cut your ends is to get rid of heat damage. So whether you're flat ironing your hair a lot, whether you are blow drying your hair, whether you use a lot of curling tools or whatever, sometimes it affects your ends more than your actual hair. So especially when you're flat ironing your hair, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but sometimes your ends are more resistant, so you end up spending a lot more time at the end of your hair with the flat iron than the rest of your hair, and as a result that area ends up looking thin and just not healthy. So cutting your ends is going to get rid of that as well. The third reason why it is so important to cut your ends is because it makes your hair look healthier, fuller, and thicker. Have you ever noticed someone that maybe has a lot of hair, but then when you see at the bottom their hair looks a little thinner, and then at the top it looks thicker? Or let me show you an example. So let's say this is how my hair looks. You can already tell that up here is thicker, down here is thinner. Even though that is length, that is not good length because it doesn't look healthy. As you can see, again, this part up here looks thicker and then down here looks thinner. So if I were to cut this whole part off, it makes my entire hair look uniform and it makes it look fuller, as you can see. So see the difference from this and this? And I know you're gonna think that cutting that part is gonna make your hair look shorter. It's actually going to make your hair look better because it looks thicker, fuller, and it looks healthier. The fourth reason you wanna cut your ends is because it makes your hair look less frizzy. Again, same example. If I were to pull, let's say, a few strands of my hair like that, and imagine that all throughout my hair. Let me try to do that so you can see. See how frizzy my hair looks? That does not look attractive and it looks kind of unhealthy. But instead, if my entire hair was the same length, kind of like this, that looks much healthier. So the next thing that cutting your ends is going to help with tremendously is to detangle your hair, to comb your hair, and to style your hair. When your hair is nicely trimmed, it just makes your life so much easier. It makes combing it easier, it makes detangling easier, and it also makes styling easier because the comb, the brush, the detangler, they all just go right through your hair with no resistance whatsoever, and that is a good thing. The next reason, again, I've already touched on it, is the fact that it makes your hair easy to detangle. When your hair has a lot of split ends, a lot of puffy ends, it has a lot of one strand knots, it has a lot of entanglement going on, that is not what we want. We want a uniform, beautiful, thick looking hair. Even if it's short, doesn't matter if your hair is short, long, or medium length. Everybody needs a trim here and there, and a good trim is going to make your hair healthier, fuller, and thicker at whatever length. The next reason is the fact that it makes your hair grow better. Again, a lot of you guys are going to think that cutting those little split ends or tangles or one strand knots is going to make your hair shorter. It's actually going to make your hair grow better because that way you have no tangles that you have to force your brush or combs through, ultimately breaking your hair, and also it allows your hair to grow freely without any split ends. The last reason I want to talk about is the fact that your hair is ultimately going to be longer, and I've already touched on this, but because of the fact that you're getting rid of those puffy ends, you're getting rid of those one strand knots, you're getting rid of those tangles, you're also getting rid of the split ends, your hair is ultimately going to grow longer. And for those of you guys who have followed me for a while, you know that right before we started the 6 months journey, I literally trimmed my ends twice within a span of 3 months. And as you can see, my hair has grown a lot. Like, look at this fro. This is a big fro. My hair has grown a lot because I do take special measures when it comes to my hair. That means keeping up with my treatments, keeping up with my trims, keeping up with my oils, keeping up with my protective styles, which is everything that I preach here on my channel. If you're new here and you haven't heard, we are on a 6-month no heat natural hair journey. So for 6 months, we will apply no heat to our hair. It doesn't matter at what point you join. It only matters that you take a step back, pay more attention to your hair, stop putting heat and a lot of chemicals in your hair, and see what happens. November is going to be our 6-month mark. So if you want to join right now, you can still do that. I'm actually hoping that this becomes a lifestyle for all of us, but I just wanted to have a time measure so that that you guys can see that this stuff actually works. If you keep up, stay patient, stay consistent, this stuff actually works. So that is the reason I decided to do 6 months. But like I said, you can join at any point, and I promise you, you are going to see a lot of difference. If you don't take anything from this video at all, take what I'm about to tell you right now as the most important thing. The first most important thing you need for a trim are scissors that are actually made for cutting hair. You don't want to use your kitchen scissors. You don't want to use your craft scissors. You don't want to use just any kind of random scissors. You want to use something that is specifically made for cutting hair. And secondly, you want to make sure that that scissors is sharp enough to cut your hair. Now you can get these from your local beauty supply stores. You can get this from Amazon. You can get this from Sally's, US Hair. Just ask for scissors specifically meant for cutting hair. This, my friend, is what you need. I got this from my local Sally's store, and this was only about, if I'm not mistaken, it was only about $5. This is very sharp, and that's exactly what you need. So that's the first thing you're gonna need. The second thing you're gonna need is a wide tooth comb, kind of like this one. I don't know where my wide tooth comb is, so I'm going to be using an Afro Pay comb. If your hair is wet, what you're going to need is a detangling brush, and this is the Dayment detangling brush. So this is for when your hair is wet. The third thing you're going to need is this comb. And I tell you guys all the time to never ever take a small fine tooth comb like this to your hair, but this time this is going to come in handy, and I'll show you guys exactly why in a minute. Now, cutting your ends is honestly better when your hair is straight, like bone straight, because at that point all your hair is on the same level, for lack of better term. And also it is easier to see when certain parts are longer or shorter than the other. My hair shrinks a lot, and you guys know that. I literally just took my braids out and I combed it out, and this is what it looks like. So if you were to see my hair like this, you would think that I need to cut a whole lot, but the thing is, the curls of my hair are very, very weird. So it may look like I need to cut a whole lot off, but I don't, because some parts of my hair are curlier than other parts, if that makes sense. So this right here is how long my hair actually is. It's all the way down there, but if I were to leave it, it looks like this part is way longer than this part. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I'm just gonna be honest and say that, you know, the best time to cut your ends is when your hair is straight. But we're not doing that because we are on a 6-month no heat challenge, so we're not putting any heat on our hair. But you can also still cut your ends when it's either wet in a very, very natural state, or when it's in a state like this where it's been combed and stretched out. Last but not least, these are optional, but you're gonna need some hair clips like these ones, just to get your hair out of the way. So with that said, let's talk about some of the stuff you're gonna look for to determine if it's time to cut your ends. The number one thing you're gonna look for are split ends. Sometimes when you take your hair like this, you can kind of see if your hair has some split ends. But yes, visible split ends are one of your indicators that it is time to cut those off. The next thing you wanna look for are puffy ends. Again, if you do the same method, you grab a lot of your hair and make sure to tease it like this. Try to get it as even as possible. You'll also see that some of your ends look puffy. That is a great indicator also that you need to cut it, because that is not healthy. Another sign are single strand knots. Again, same thing. When you grab your hair like this, you grab your hair, you're playing with it, and you look at it really close, you'll be able to see that some of your hair has been knotted up. I see one right now. And when you pass your finger over it, you can feel the roughness. It's kind of rough. But yes, that again is another sign that that needs to be cut off. The last sign I'm going to talk about is tension. So let's say you part your hair like this. You grab a little bit like this. You take your wide tooth comb and you comb through your hair. Make sure you comb completely through. And then you take your fine tooth comb and you gently comb from the bottom and try to work your way up. When you start to comb through your hair like that and you get to a certain point where there's tension, that is a good indication of where you need to cut off. And also, it just doesn't look even. When you go like that, your hair just doesn't look even. That is a great sign as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna section my hair off into 4 different sections. and we'll start the process. All right, family, I think I'm gonna start on the back ones. So I'm just gonna pin these up. All right, so I'm gonna start on this back section. So I'm gonna further split this. I'm gonna take my clip again, clip this down. So this is what I'm gonna be working with. So I'm gonna take my comb. I'm gonna start to brush from the bottom very gently. I'm gonna work my way all the way up. Again, you can wet your hair to do this. You can use a detangler. If your hair is already permed or straight, that is great. But for those of us who are natural, the best way to do it is to previously stretch your hair out, and that is by braiding or twisting it the day or time before, just to make sure that it's not super curly. But anyways, my hair is combed through. I'm gonna take my fine tooth comb and be very, very gentle as I comb from the very bottom. Again, working my way up. And if you have to get smaller sections, go ahead and do that. As I comb down, I can already feel some tension here. So that is where I'm gonna be doing the cutting. I'm gonna stand up so you guys can see this. I'm gonna cut that little part right there. That was barely anything, but see how it's easier already to comb through my hair? I'm gonna comb through real good again. And then again, I'm just gonna cut a tiny little bit. This is my method. It might be different for you. It might be different for a professional hairstylist. It might be different for a different YouTuber. This is the method that works for me. I'm gonna try to do a bigger portion this time so you guys can actually see how much cutting I did. Okay, so again, I have that portion. I'm gonna grab my fine tooth comb and I'm gonna comb through. All right, so then I'm gonna come all the way down till the end. I'm trying to make it so you guys can see what I'm doing there. So right there, I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna cut. That was how much I cut. So see, this is not a haircut. You're not trying to get a bob. You're not trying to get a specific hairstyle. You're just trying to cut your split ends off. And I honestly feel like this is what a lot of the hairstylists do not understand, because they always end up cutting more. It's like, I don't want a hairstyle. I just want my split ends to be gone. And you almost always come out with shorter hair than you went in with, and that was not the goal. All right, so again, I'm grabbing that. And I'm just gonna cut here. See that? See how skinny that looks? I just do this turning motion, and I only do this with big portions. Don't do this with small portions, because you're gonna trick yourself into cutting more hair than you're supposed to. So I'm just twisting it like this. And then as you can see here, there's still a little bit more to cut. I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna cut right below to make it a little more even. And I'll play with it again. See how that's a little more uniformed? And again, I'm gonna take my comb and I'm gonna comb right through. See how much easier it is to brush through? I can just go all the way from the root all the way down, and it's easy to do. Like, I'm barely cutting my hair, y'all. And this is one of the reasons I want you guys to know how to do it, because you know your struggles, you know what you've been through to get here, and you don't just want to take a pair of scissors to your hair. You're going to be more gentle and actually do what you're here to do, which is to cut your ends, not your hair. I'm going to speed up a little bit just to get the back part done, but I want you guys to watch till the very end, because it's a little different when you get to the top. So I don't want you guys to miss out on that, so don't you skip through the video. You got to watch the whole thing so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. Alright family, we are done cutting. I'm just gonna go ahead and open this up, brush it out so you can see exactly what it looks like. See how I still have layers in my hair? I didn't take the scissors and just go like this and cut. That would be inappropriate because we naturally have layers in our hair. So the back of your hair may be longer than the front, and also our hair grows at different lengths as well. So your hair may grow faster in the back or on the top or in the middle. I just say that to say the best way to get an accurate cut is to really take your time, section off your hair, and go through it and cut what needs to be cut out. All right, family, so we are done. See how much more even my hair looks versus before when I first started the video. Now it looks healthier and it looks fuller. So even though it was longer before, this looks much better because all of the split ends are gone and my hair is gonna grow healthier, longer, and thicker. All right, family, I hope you guys learned something. If you did like the video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you haven't already joined the family, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit the bell notification so you never miss another video. Also, do not forget to check the description box for your native deodorant discount code. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Oh my god, that's a lot of hair.